I keep my goals to myself, cause whenever I share with folks, they get a look upon their face and their memory floats to a time where their goals and the stars.
What's good? We're going to get into TNA Impact from January the 1st, 2026, the first TNA Impact of the new year. I want to say Happy New Year to you guys. Hope you guys had a good one, and I hope you guys had a very Merry Christmas. And I hope that you guys have a prosperous, awesome new year. Make 2026 the best year you can make it. So this was an okay show. Clearly, TNA just wants to get through these last 2 weeks of Access. Being on Access TV has been kind of a downer. It has picked up, especially last year. Last year, TNA was a really decent product, especially with the partnership with NXT. That helped their show out tremendously. And the show got better also when they got rid of Scott D'Amore back in 2024, so that was good there. But this roster is not good. They need some help. TNA needs a brand new roster like nobody's business. So we're going to get into TNA Impact from January the 1st, 2026. So we kicked the show off with the first match of the night. The Elegance brand, M and Heather by Elegance, they defeat the Angel Warriors, Lei Ying Lee and Xia Brookside via the help of Danny Luna, who showed up towards the end of the match and beat up Xia Lee, which was smart. And the Elegance brand got the win via the double foot stomp by Heather for the 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's fine there. Good stuff there. Moving on from that, Santino Marella, he's depressed about getting kicked in the balls by his daughter. Then he gave a note to Gia Miller to give to Tommy Dreamer to read on the television. And then it said that Stax will defend the international title against Steve Maclin next week. Okay, who gives a damn about that? Moving right along. So then we get some match announcements for Genesis. So it's going to be a triple threat match. Leon Slater, Muth, and Cedric Alexander for the Exhibition Championship. And then also Mustafa Ali will take on Elijah. So that's cool there. That makes sense. Clearly, TNA is going to try to do their best impression of Trick Williams, Javon Evans, and Obafemi, the match that they had at NXT. When was that? Was that Stand and Deliver? No. Yeah. Stand and Deliver last year. So good luck. I mean, they're not going to succeed in that department, but good luck, you know. I give them kudos for trying. And I'm a fan of Leon Slater, and I'm a fan of Cedric Alexander. I'm not a fan of Moose. Moose is okay in small doses, but I'm just not a fan of current Moose. I'm just not. Moose has been in TNA for about, 8 years? Well, actually, no. 9 years now. He's been in TNA way too long, but whatever. Moving on, Mustafa Ali defeats Diener, a.k.a. the hometown man. I am sick and tired of TNA pushing these dumb clowns. Get rid of Diener. This is the problem with TNA. Stop relying on Diener and Eric Young and Moose and Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards and so many other bums in TNA. Make those guys producers and move on. Move on. We all know, or we all should know, that Diener is the hometown man. Diener is garbage. He's lame. He's not been really cool since he did the angle with Eric Young with the Violent by Design stuff. And that was 3 years ago at this point. Right? TNA has to move on from these guys. That is their biggest problem. They've got to move on from Diener. Please move on from him. He's a clown. Moving on. So, post-match, Elijah, he had a doppelganger, maybe his brother Ezekiel. He was seen on the entrance stage. So, Mustafa Ali sent the the good hands after him. Then Elijah snuck up from behind with Ali. He almost hit him with the guitar, but Ali got out of dodge. And then Elijah sang with the Hometown Man. He sang his theme song to annoy Mustafa Ali. Whatever. I don't care about this. This is not cool. So, whatever. Who really cares? I don't give a damn. Moving on. The Rascals, they're backstage. However, they don't want to talk to Santino Marella about getting them another X Division title shot. So they go into Santino Marella's office and ask for a title shot. So Santino, he's still depressed. He says, sure, the Rascals can fight each other, and the winner gets a title shot at Leon Slater on the AMC Premiere. And then the winner of that match can defend in the triple threat at Genesis. So that's fine there, I guess. Whatever. Who cares? I'm a fan of the Rascals. I like the Rascals, I really do. Can we please move these guys up the card, please? Trey Miguel's been doing pretty decent work. Setting with Zachary Wentz and Myron Reed. Move these guys higher up on the card, please. It's time. Seriously, it is. Mike Santana's going to need opponents to face anyway. I mean, we know Frankie Kazarian's not going to win at the AMC Premiere. Spoiler alert, that's what happened at the end of the show. So, there's that. So, whatever. It's fine, whatever. Moving on. So, Arianna Grace, she's out next, and she reveals why she turned heel. So, she gets on the mic, and she complains about being in Santino's shadow. She said her dad doesn't even have the guts to tell her he wasn't booking her for TNA anymore. She found out through the travel office, so now she stands by Stax. So Stax takes the mic to let Santino know that Arianna is his girl now, and that she sometimes even calls him daddy. And then the two of them, they make out. So whatever. I mean, I guess this is fine, I guess. It was short and sweet, but whatever. It's not really that important. Again, this is just low NXT talent. Like, Stax was really good back in early in 2025 when he was still feuding with Tony D'Angelo. But Stax is really falling off the card. Same thing with Lexis King, but whatever. Who gives a damn? I don't really care about this NXT Outlaw faction. I just don't. It's just a bunch of low undercard guys, and they're not really that important. So whatever. Moving on from that, the Diamond Collective, which consists of Tessa Blanchard, Victoria Crawford, a.k.a. Alicia Fox, and Milla Moore. They defeated Indy Hartwell, Jody Threat, and Jada Stone. Okay, that's fine. Apparently, Jody Threat's contract is up soon, which is good. I could see her going to either maybe Scott D'Amore's promotion, Maple Leaf, or maybe even AEW. But if she goes to AEW, she'll probably be on Ring of Honor or Collision. I mean, it doesn't matter which. Just get rid of Jody Threat. She's been there for about, 2-3 years, not doing much of anything. I mean, clearly, Jenny Luna is far better than Jody Threat. That's just me. So, the heels, they win, which makes perfect sense. So there is that. Moving on. This leads us into the Righteous and the Hardyz. They have a segment. They have a promo. So Vincent said that he's just a reflection of Jeff Hardy. He basically says nothing, basically. So Matt Hardy, the Hardys, they come out to a good reaction. Matt called the Righteous creepy. Matt thought waking up surrounded by Righteous in a Hardyz shrine. And their whole deal was creepy and kind of cultish. The Hardys aren't interested in anything but fighting the Righteous. But Vince and Dutch don't want to fight. They want brotherhood, which is weird. So the Hardys have enough brotherhood. So the Hardys, they reject their offer. They want the Righteous out of their lives. And if the Hardys want to accept help from the Righteous, then things will go a different way. But all the Hardys are interested in is really elevating TNA into the AMC era. So that's fine. This is fine, but I really don't care about this already. This kind of needs to end, I would say, either at the AMC Premiere or at Genesis. Because the Righteous, no. There's no damn way. I mean, I like Vincent. Vincent is cool. But I don't know. I really don't know what to say. I'm just not a fan of this, to be honest with you. I'm not a fan. Moving on. Myron Reed, he wins the triple threat. He beats his brothers, Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz. Trey Miguel got a back tattoo, which looks really freaking awesome. It looks pretty damn awesome. Looks cool as shit. I like it. So Myron Reed gets the win. Match was fun because it's the Rascals. And Leon Slater was on commentary, so he did pretty good on commentary there. Clearly, I'm gonna make a prediction. I think both Mike Santana and Leon Slater will be in NXT either by the summer or by the fall. So later on this year, they'll both be a part of NXT. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. So, yeah. Moving on from that, this leads us into the system. So, Eddie Edwards just talked up JDC's last match of him and promised it'll be crazy at Genesis. Who cares? So, JDC wants one more match with the system altogether. And it's going to be a match next week. It's going to be the system versus Leon Slater and the Hardys along with Cedric Alexander. I don't give a damn. Oh my gosh. Whatever. Moving on from this garbage. This shit sucks. Moving on. This leads us into Gia Miller. She's backstage with the Hardys. So Matt thinks it's a perfect way to enter into the AMC era. The Hardys open the door to their locker room, and then it's been turned into another creepy Hardy shrine by the Righteous. I really don't give a damn about this either. Whatever. Then let's lead us into the main event of the evening. Frankie Kazarian defeats Bear Bronson to retain the TNA World Championship. Bear Bronson is okay. He's just 30. He's been on the indies for a little while. I think he's done stuff in GCW and MLW and a couple other places. Maybe House of Glory, I'm not too sure. But the match was okay. The crowd got into it towards the last, 3 to 5 minutes of the match. So, there's that. Frankie wins via the Fade of the Black, which is basically Hangman Adam Page's finisher, which is Deadeye. Well, one of Hangman's finishers, which is Deadeye. So post-match, Carlos Silva presented Frankie the belt. Mike Santana came out to the crowd. He cut a promo in Spanish. He said he wants to congratulate Kazarian, but not for the title win, but because instead of their title match happening at Genesis, it's going to now happen on the AMC Premiere on January 15th, and that was the show. So this is great. This makes perfect sense. I'm glad they're doing this. Clearly, Mike Santana needs to win. If they want to do a rematch between Frankie and Mike Santana, they can do it at Genesis, which makes sense. But you got to go ahead and pull the trigger on Mike Santana. Pull the trigger on Mike Santana. Maybe you have him win on the AMC Premiere. Then you have Frankie lose again to Mike Santana at Genesis for a rematch. And then maybe you feud Mike Santana and Nick Namath for a little bit. at least up until Rebellion. So, because TNA only has like 4 major pay-per-views, which would be Genesis, Rebellion, Slammiversary, and Bound for Glory. Everything else is just a TNA Plus event. So, there is that. But TNA has got to get the ball rolling with Mike Santana. Once Frankie Kazarian loses, Frankie needs to be made into a producer. And I could say the same thing with a lot of talent on the show that I don't like, that don't need to be there anymore. I'm sorry. Like, there's so many talent that don't need to be there anymore, that are just old. And I can think of basically all members of the system. They should all be producers. Eric Young, same thing. Diener, same thing. You know, just make those guys producers, man. It's just time to move on from these guys, if we're being honest. But TNA was okay. It could have been a little bit better. Really, this was kind of an okay show. Nothing really progressed storyline-wise. It was just a show just to do it. And I think next week will be more of the same. So it is what it is. TNA is just focused on the AMC Premiere, which makes perfect sense. But what did you guys think of TNA? Like, comment, subscribe, and Happy New Year.